Hello, guys. How are you? I hope you're doing fine. First of all, I'm sorry for starting late, but my laptop is prehistoric apparently, and also, I don't know. I just have too many things open here. Like I have to be honest, so it was super slow. But yeah. So we're here, and yeah. As you know, my name is Mauricio Muñoz. I'm your MCVP oGX. And I'm super excited to present to you oGX change standards, contracts, and XPPs. And yeah, I think this is a topic that will raise many questions. And I know that a lot of them maybe we will address during Taco, or we're gonna address during I mean in the next few days or weeks or whatever. And yeah, so yeah, let's get going. Basically, what is going to happen right now, we're going to start with exchange standards. And as you can see here, um, this is actually an image that I showed you mm, during Alps. I think all of you were there, if I'm correct. And yeah, and this is also something you should know, because I know that that many of you already have EPs. So as you know, we have 16 standards, and standards are super important, because these are the ones that are, as its name says, the unstandardized experience. So this means that if we have this, our the EP experience is going to be the best one. So we have to cover all of this to make sure that not only we're giving an experience, but it is an experience with a lot of quality. And as you can see here, we have them divided in 4 blocks. And yeah, I don't know, sometimes people think that just because there are 4 blocks, that then every block has 4 standards each. And as you can see, it's not the case. So for example, we have the development block with the six first standards. Then we have the logistics one with 3, then the job one with 4, and the living one with 3. So yeah, as you can see here, like it's super easy to understand which one of what does each one of these means. But I'm just gonna go like super quickly through all of them. And I know that we went through them during Alps, but I also want you to be aware of what has to happen, or what does each one of them means. And I also have to tell you another thing, that it's going to be super important for you to understand why giving such good experiences is so important, and also how easy would be to fuck up experiences and not to move our people to complete. So basically, the first one is development, and I know that maybe it can be kind of hard to read because it's like this yellow color that, I don't know, it's like just too brilliant. But I mean, I can tell you what it is. So yeah, basically the first standard is personal goal setting, and basically this means that we as ISEC, we are going to give information to the EP about the projects, but also we're gonna, as its name says, set personal goals with them, just to see what are the things that are expecting from this experience, what are the things that they want to have as an outcome, and basically what is also their what are their expectations towards not only the experience but also the organization. So this is super important for it to happen. And as you can see, in the left side of each standard, it says home or host. So yeah, basically if it says home, it means that oGX are the ones that have to make sure that it happens. And if it says host, it's ICX. So from the oGX side, because we are in the oGX commission, you just have to make sure that the home ones are done by our side, but you also have to make sure that the host, so in this case ICX, is also fulfilling the standards. If you went to through the SOPs after last call, that I really hope you did, you could see that also the standards were divided there in the SOPs, and it gave you, the SOPs also gives us recommendations on what standards to check during what part of the process. So for example, on week 1 of the experience, you had to check that, for example, they had standard number 8, that it's under logistics, and it's arrival pickup, right? Or for example, you have to check that they had the standard number 13, that is the first day of work. So this means that someone from Isaac went with them to the project on the first day. Like this is an example, but all of them we have to be sure that ICX is fulfilling, because many of the times oGX teams complain that they are doing everything good, but ICX is like not doing their job. And at the end, these things, even though they don't rely directly on us, are super important, because you have to make sure that this is happening, and it's part of EP management. So basically that's personal goal setting, and this is for the home part. Also in home part we have the outgoing preparation, or OPS. So this basically, as its name says it, it's a preparation seminar where people go and we talk to them about the ISEC way. We talk to them about the experience that they're going to have, about cultural shock, about the fact that they are going to be ambassadors of Austria while going to another country. And basically it's preparing them for their experience. Of course, this has to happen in the home side. So this is something that we need to know how to deliver. Then we have in number 3, expectation setting. So basically it's kind of like personal goal setting, but this is from ICX side. So when the person gets to the other country, they have to have a talk with ICX. Sometimes it happens as well when EPs are still in Austria, but basically it's ICX also setting expectations with the EP about the project, about the country, about the experience, and all of the things that they want to develop during their experience. Then in the host side, we also have incoming preparation seminar, that basically it is not like the OPS, in the sense that it shouldn't be the same content, and this is also super important for us to talk to ICX, so that we make sure that we're not giving the same content to EPs, because this could really damage our image with the EPs, and they are just gonna feel that we're giving them the same information, and that we are not aligned. That it is also something that happens a lot. But basically, incoming preparation seminar is for them to understand in what country they are, in what city they are, how they can move in the city, what to expect from the culture, what to expect from the experience, and what to expect from those 6 weeks with ISEC in ICX. Then we have development spaces with entity provider as number 5. And basically the idea, as its name says it, is that the opportunity provider also have to give not only the job to our EPs, but also this type of spaces that it could mean different things. But this one, with this standard, is super important for us and for ICX to align what is going to be this development space that they are gonna give to the EPs. It could go, I don't know, for example, from lead sessions, or from lead seminars, or that they have an extra activity that they do with the other trainees. But we have to make sure that we know what they do abroad, because then this is going to be super important for us in the reintegration seminar, that it's actually number 6, debrief with ISEC home, so that they when they come back home and they are telling us how the experience went and reflecting on their experience, they also can know which of the standards were actually fulfilled, and that we also know that we are aligned with ICX, knowing what actually happened or not happened during the experience. So as you can see here, this first part of the standards is development, and it's more like the development of the EP as a person. And as you can see here, it's super important that it happens from both sides, from ISEC home and from ISEC host. And actually, for example, out of 4 standards that home has to deliver, 3 of them are in the development space. So this is super important for us. This is where we have to put a lot of effort, and this is also a way where we can avoid having problems in the future with EPs that were not aligned, or that they didn't understand, or things like this, or that things were not being said, etc., etc. So yeah, this is the development space. Then as you can see by number, we have to go to the logistics side, and it also makes sense in terms of timeline. So basically we have 3 sorry, we have 3 standards here, that it's standard 7, 8, and 9. The 3 of them are provided by host, and basically the first one is visa or work permit. This is a standard that only applies to some EPs, and we also have to be aware that the EPs know this when filling out the standard survey at the end of their experience or during their experience, that if they didn't need a visa or work permit, but we actually helped them, or ICX actually helped these people, telling them that they were not going to need them. This counts as support regarding visa and work permit, and not that they put it as not fulfilled, or that it was not done just because they didn't need to actually issue, well, not issue, but get a visa or a work permit. So also make sure that this information is aligned with the EP. But yeah, basically is this, like ICX has to tell the EP what they need, for example, in terms of documents, in terms of money, in terms of any other requirements that they need for the visa or work permit. Then we have standard number 8, that basically is arrival pickup, as its name says it. ISEC in the host entity have to go either to the airport or to the bus station to pick you up. So it has to be something presential. And I know that in some places or cities or countries or whatever, it's not going to be possible, but at least they have to give support regarding arrival, and they have to do, for example, if the presential pickup is going to be impossible to do, they have to inform the EP beforehand. This is not something I recommend. We should really push ICX for them to pick up people, but sometimes we also have issues of planes being delayed, or like EPs arriving to other cities. So it's just a matter of ICX knowing when is the EP going to arrive and where, and just make sure that they are welcomed and that they are not lost in the city or not knowing where to go. Regarding SDG 9, then it's departure support. And the different thing between arrival pickup and departure support is that actually for departure support, ICX doesn't have to go to the airport or to the bus station or any other place to like leave you there so you can go back to your country. Departure support means more that they have to know how to get to the airport or how to get to the bus station to give you basically directions on how to do uh, things, and also what to do. And yeah, so also make sure that the EP knows this, because sometimes EPs think that they have to be taken to the airport or to the bus station, and it's not the case. So it's more about them having the information. Then in the other area that it's regarding job, this is super important, and it's basically standard 10, 11, 12, and 13. And number 10 is job description. So basically the job description that is on XPA has to match the job description that they have in the project. And this one is super important for you to be in communication with the EPs. You as a VP, or your EP managers as managers, or some people also have buddies, to know if this is being respected, because sometimes some EPs compromise and they are not doing what they were actually told to do. So, and this could end up on them putting that the standard was not fulfilled. So please make sure that the EPs are actually doing what the opportunity was supposed to be, and also for us to take action if it's not the case. Then for standard 11, basically is duration, and by duration it means that, for example, if you go to a project that says that it's going to be 6 weeks, they cannot tell you that then it's just going to be 5 weeks, or that they cannot tell you that then you have to stay, and because it's an 8-week project. So the duration also has to match the duration in the platform. So also make sure that that is respected, as well as the working hours, that it's standard number 12. So basically if they told you, or if the opportunity says that the working hour is going to be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., then they have to respect that hour as well. And regarding the first day of work, they actually, this is kind of similar to the arrival pickup one, because it's like your first day and you don't really know how to do it. So basically ISEC, as host entity, or ICX, they have to take you to the project on the first day of work, or even if you get there by yourself. They have to be there to introduce you to the person that is in charge of the NGO or the startup or the company, etc. So yeah, these are under the job part. And finally, in the living part, we have standards number 14, 15, and 16. And yeah, this the fourth one, uh, the number 14th has to be done by home. Sorry. And basically it's just making sure that the EP has an insurance that first of all is international, so it's going to apply in case, well, it's going to be valid in case something happens in the other country. And the other thing is that it has to cover the whole time you're gonna be in the other country, or the whole time that the project takes place. So for GDPR reasons, that basically it's about data protection, we cannot keep the insurances. So this is something tricky. It is more about like us making sure that the EPs know that they need to have an insurance, and also being aware that they actually got it, but we cannot keep this information with us, or this type of documents. And regarding the other two for living, it's 15. It's accommodation. So, for example, for GB, normally LCs give you the opportunity to have accommodation with a host family, or for example, they rent a flat where they put, I don't know, some trainees there to be there. Or if it is impossible for them to actually get accommodation for you, they need to give you information about the places that could work for this. And regarding standard number 16, it's called basic living costs. And basically, what it means is that the host entity, so in this case, ICX, they need to tell you how much would you be wasting, like not wasting, but like spending approximately for different things, or like just a rough number, rough estimation. So yeah, basically they need to tell you how much are you gonna need for in order to survive. So basically these are our standards, and yeah, it's super important for you to understand them, to understand in which area are they in terms of development, logistics, job, and living, but also knowing how these work, because you are going to be telling or you're going to be yeah, you're going to be talking to EPs, and these are going to be recurring questions. So just make sure that you know them. But I want to show you something super important. That is, it is this. So basically, here we have, like our 16 standards. And for us to get an experience to be completed, that it's the ideal state of each exchange, we need to have at least 14 out of 16 exchange standards fulfilled. Okay, so basically, imagine that you have all of them from development, you have all of them from logistics, and you have all of them from job. But let's see, I don't know, let's think that the EP was never communicated about the basic living costs, or that yeah, I don't know, that they didn't pay an insurance, and then they forget, and they are like, oh yeah, like they didn't support us. Or the other thing is like, I don't know, you get to the place and they are going to charge you for accommodation that it's supposed to be free. All of these things uh, could really damage stuff. But if you have 13 but not like those three, then you're not going to have the completed. So just make sure that you really, really know the importance of them. And as you can see here, it says, we have now learned that in order for us to fulfill standards and have a completed experience, we must have at least 14 out of 16 standards. The only standards that we are able to miss are standard number 8, so it's the arrival pickup, standard 9, that it's the departure support, standard 12, that it's working hours, and standard 13, that it's the first day of work. And as a result, we must ensure that we understand what is standard entails and how to fulfill it on the oGX side. That, as I told you before, it's for only that we have to do as home. But for me, it's for super important that you know that, for example, even if you have all of them, but you don't have visa and work permit as fulfilled, then you're not gonna have the complete. But for example, if you have all of them but you don't have working hour and first day of work, then it is still possible to pass to the final stage that it's to get a completed. Okay, so I hope that this is clear. And but okay, in a way, like, how do we make sure that actually our EPs know what is happening, or what they have to know, or that they know that we have these standards, or that we have somewhere for them to check how to proceed in terms of this? Yeah, so basically, I'm just gonna go super quickly through the contract, and I'm gonna go through the XPPs just for you to understand what they are and where they are. So yeah, so these are important things that are legal, and as you can see here, we have a folder that it's called B2C Hustlers. And if you don't have access, then ask your VPs for access, but you do have to have access. And here we have a folder called contracts, right? So you're gonna go to contracts, and in this folder that says contract new, you're gonna go there, and yes, so here we have the new OGV contract. Wait a second. Okay, yeah, so mm, so yeah, basically this is a new contract that we have. We just started implementing it, but basically here you have to see that we ask for the information of the EP, like regarding the name, and yeah, email and phone and all of these things. And then we also have the part for Isaac. So this is something that you have to fill in order to send this to the EP. And here we have all of the clauses. For example, here we're gonna put in number 1.3 what is the project, where they're going, and also what is the host LC, just to make sure that we have that information. And yeah, I'm not gonna go through all of it, but basically it talks about for example, isaac.org, and for example, in which type of cases would we actually give the money back, or that it talks about here 2.1, 2.9, it talks about exchange program policies that are actually our XPPs, and it is something that we add to the contract. And I don't know, for example, also here in 2.1.1.4, we let the EP, if you, I don't know, in a way it's like asking them if they want to provide a showcasing material, that it would be like 3 photos and 1 video, or a blog post, and then they have to take the box, if they want or they don't. And yeah, I mean, just make sure that it's all filled out, and it's super nice. You have to go and check it. And yeah, for example, it also talks about the caution, and the price that the exchange was, about our policies. And yeah, here at the end, for example, is the EP, the person that is gonna take the experience. It's the signature, and then we're gonna have the signature from Isaac, and the date and place. So I mean, just go through the contract. I know that you're gonna have some questions in the future, but it would be super good for you to check it first. And so yeah, it's in the folder contract new, as you can see. And yeah, just make sure that you start also practicing how to fill it out, or check with your current VPs if you're doing it in the right way, so that then we don't have like legal problems. But talking about legal problems, you can go back to the contracts folder that it's in the B2C hustlers, and here we have the XPPs. That basically this is the extract from the global compendium supporting document. So yeah, basically this is something that it's being worked at a global level, and this is why we cannot change or modify what the XPPs say. So yeah, basically the XPPs tell us, like what are our products, what are our, like people leading, or for example, what's an MC, and all of these no, abbreviations or acronyms that we have. And then yeah, it talks about the phases of the ISEC experience, and how it um, how it works for all of them. It talks about team leaders. He talk about the introduction. So I'm not gonna go through all of the pages, because as you can see, they are like many. But basically, this is the document where you can also check what has to be done in order for us to attack a problem, in terms of, I don't know, for example, we can have uh, sorry, the connection is weird. So yeah, for example, we can have like different types of cases with the EPs, and basically I don't know, you can have a situation with one of them, and if you don't know how to proceed here, it tells you how to proceed. It talks about accommodation, it talks about visa, it talks about like what would be the things that we are bound to do, or the things that they are bound to do from the EP side, like the policy of breaking status, what's legal, what's not, in which cases we can actually reimburse things. So also, if you have time, go through it, but at the end, for me, the idea is more for you to focus on the ones that are related to oGX, in order for you to know what is happening. So yeah, this is made at a global level, and we cannot change it, because there's a lot of people that want like a shorter version. But at the end, it's important for the EPs to have all of the information, and as well for us in case something happened. So yeah, here we have the XPPs. So as you can see here, these three are actually super related, because we have the standards first, that they are the ones that are gonna ensure that our experiences have a lot of quality, but at the same time, we have people to sign the contract in order for them to decide that they are going to go to another country. And lastly, we have the XPPs, where we have all of the legal data, and also in case that we want to change something, then yeah, I mean, we have all of the information there, as well as the EP, also to defend ourselves. So yeah, I know that you could maybe have a lot of questions regarding this, and yeah, just let me know. But the question that you have to answer in the form is going to be, which ones are the standards that we cannot not give, or that we cannot miss, and why? What would be the last consequence of this? So yeah, I hope this works. Let me know as well if you have questions about this, regarding contract, or regarding XPPs, or where to find them, or exchange standards. And I'm here. And yeah, I hope you like this, and see you tomorrow.